You're listening to Art of the Unknown, the podcast about traveling inwards, outwards, and onwards. Hey guys, and welcome back to the podcast. So this week I wanted to try something a little bit different. I wanted to go a bit more into the traveling that I'm doing and the experiences that I've been having abroad. I want to start giving updates to the locations that I visit, as well as my take on it. I think this would be a good way to incorporate more travel into the podcast and use the fact that I am experiencing different kinds of energies in different locations to my advantage and kind of just share those experiences with you. So last week I went to Marmaris, Turkey, which is a coastal town in the south of Turkey. It was my first time ever touching, ever looking at, ever listening to the Mediterranean Sea. And just by being next to it and looking at it, that just made me so incredibly happy. But I think just by being there, I had a very unique experience. I don't know if it was because I was by the Mediterranean. I don't know if it was because I was in that part of Turkey, or maybe because I had an I Ching reading that weekend. I'm not exactly sure the reason, but overall, it was a very, very, I want to say, spiritually profound weekend. I had a very healing experience there, and I'm going to try to explain it the best way that I can. But seeing that we are dealing with the metaphysical here, it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to try to do it anyways. Okay, so first things first. Visually, Marmaris was a very beautiful place. Okay, so you have the Mediterranean Sea, and then behind it you have these rolling kind of hills just going into the distance. And the hills were covered with trees that were more of like a deeper green, not such a bright green. So visually, yes, you get there and it's very, very welcoming and overall just kind of a calming experience in general just to look at it. But if I can pick one word to describe the energy in that area as I felt it, I would say that one word is receptive. And by receptive, I mean it felt as though it was very magnetic. Almost as though I can close my eyes and I still felt in a way that I was being pulled in by the sea. It was if my energy was kind of drawing itself away from me and being directed into the Mediterranean rather than having the ocean or not the ocean. Sorry, Mel, having the sea kind of giving me energy, maybe that makes sense to you, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Okay, anyways, I could undoubtedly feel the feminine energy in that area. And by the feminine energy, I mean that it was not just the fact that it was receptive and wanting to take, but I feel like it also requires a sense of openness, vulnerability, kind of having the willingness to have an accept. It was that, but in the kind of energetic form. Okay, basically, I have a lot of internal healing to do and a lot of very difficult things inside of me to face. And I'm nowhere even, I want to say, near accomplishing pretty much anything, maybe. I don't know. But what I do know is that I think I'm at the starting point of that process, because there are things that are making themselves known to me, and they're coming up around me, and just I can't, for some reason now, I can't really take my awareness off of it. Okay, so anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that I definitely have a lot of letting go to do, letting go of the past, letting go of, I think, emotions that I've been holding on to, because, okay, I have a really hard time dealing with other people's emotions, let alone my own. So I think I just don't process them completely. So they stay inside of me, and that's not really, I don't think that's how you're supposed to do it. I'm just guessing. But like I said, I have a lot of letting go to do. And I'm not sure what I experienced last weekend had to do with the fact that I was next to the Mediterranean, or it had to do with everything that's kind of going on inside of me right now. But either way, being by that body of water was exactly what I needed, because as I am trying to let things go, as I'm trying to release the things that are inside of me emotionally, and all the emotional blocks that I have, and just everything that's not supposed to be there right now, it was great being next to something, or being in an area that had that receptive energy, because it felt like it was almost as though it was just pulling them out of me. It was taking them from me without really even me trying. And it felt like it was just grabbing all the negativity, the energy, the emotional blocks that I have in myself, and just kind of sucking it into the ocean and into the sea. So it felt a little bit draining just being there. And when I say draining, I don't mean it in a bad way, but having everything kind of be released energetically, I feel like that kind of also took a physical toll on my body. It made me feel not really, I don't want to say calmer than I usually am, but it was almost as though my energy kind of left, and now it's ready to have it be replaced with something better. I think that's how I can explain it. And again, I'm not sure if this was due to the location that I was in, or because I had an I Ching reading that weekend. But either way, I think it goes to show you that the places that we go on this earth, and the places that we are in and surround ourselves with, it definitely has an effect on your energy. Because I know that if I was anywhere else in the world, I would not have had the same connection as if I did that weekend. I've been around plenty of other bodies of water, and none really, I think, were as calming or as receptive or as just wanting to take as this one was. Usually, sometimes you can go to different bodies of water, and it's not really, sometimes you gain energy just by being there. Here, I just kind of lost it all. But either way, I really think that we need our surroundings. We need Mother Nature, and we need places on earth with these different unique types of energy levels. And going there and seeing them and experiencing them is, I feel, really, it's just something that needs to happen, because we're all at different places in our lives, and having or being in a place that kind of maybe sometimes matches your energy level or is the polar opposite is going to be what you need at that moment. And aside from just having that experience, I think that I realized some very important things, and one of them is that you can't keep everything inside of you. You can't keep holding on to things. That becomes so incredibly exhausting. And yeah, it's hard to let go of things, but it's nice to know that you can go somewhere and you can have a little bit of help, because in the end, we're not doing this by ourselves, and we cannot do it by ourselves. Okay, we need help, whether it be from other people or animals, maybe, or just places on this earth. Like, we need other people and other things. Okay, we need, our energy works and it flows and it's not here alone. Okay, so it's going to be impacted by where we are, basically. So, wrapping it all up, the word that I would best describe that area is receptive. So, if you feel like that's what you're looking for, or you feel like that's what you need, I would definitely recommend going to places in the world that have a stronger feminine energy. So, this was my first little travel update, I guess. I'm thinking I want to do this maybe once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks, just to include more travel into the podcast, but also to kind of, I don't know, maybe just be more aware of my surroundings and the world and how it kind of affects my energy, but also hopefully it can help someone else if that's what they're looking for. But anyways, I guess I will catch you on the flip side.